Hello everyone, this is K-Guy from Poptheworld. At the end of episode 10, we saw Seo Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam talking while holding the same photo, hinting that the secrets of their birth and everything tied to those secrets will unravel through the Gong Bi-seo, who knows it all. On the top of that, the real reason Yeo Eun-nam insisted on marrying Yeom Hee-chul, even going so far as to call herself the true bitch, will finally be revealed. Based on the actual air drama, I will dig into what secrets might be hidden in the episode 11 ahead of time. Following the episode 10, the story picks up with the Seo Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam. Let's check this out.
That's my dad. With that single line from Yeo Eun-nam, Seo Dong-ju's face froze. To think that the piece of his past he'd been desperately searching for was connected to Yeo Eun-nam. Could such a coincidence even exist? Seo Dong-ju carefully examined the photo again, staring at Yeo Sun-ho holding him. So, if the child in this photo is me, then we... Seo Dong-ju's voice trembled. Yeo Eun-nam paused, lost in thought for a moment, then shook her head. No, we're not siblings. That's my dad. With that single line from Yeo Eun-nam, Seo Dong-ju's face froze. To think that the piece of his past he'd been desperately searching for was connected to Yeo Eun-nam? Could such a coincidence even exist? Seo Dong-ju's face trembled. Yeo Eun-nam paused, lost in thought for a moment, then shook her head. No, we're not siblings. Seo Dong-ju's voice trembled. Yeo Eun-nam paused, lost in thought for a moment, then shook her head. No, we're not siblings. Seo Dong-ju's face trembled. Yeo Eun-nam paused, lost in thought for a moment, then shook her head. No, we're not siblings. Yeo Eun-nam paused, lost in thought for a moment, then shook her head. Dong-ju, Dad's holding you, but that doesn't mean we're related. Back then, Dad was just close to your family. Seo Dong-ju's expression softened slightly. The mere thought of them being siblings must have made his heart sink. But questions still lingered. Why was Yeo Sun-ho holding a young Seo Dong-ju? And why couldn't Seo Dong-ju remember any of this? Maybe it's not a coincidence that we met, Yeo Eun-nam said, gripping Seo Dong-ju's hand tightly. My dad was connected to you, and somehow, without us knowing, fate brought us together.
Watching this scene, I couldn't help but wonder if destiny really exists. A romance that started without either of them knowing turned out to be tied to a bond from their childhood. But behind such coincidence, there's always the chance of someone's scheme lurking, especially given the mystery surrounding Yeo Sun-ho's death.
The next morning, Seo Dong-ju went to see Gong Bi-seo, the housekeeper of the Daesan family. In a quiet corner of the garden, away from prying eyes, Seo Dong-ju showed her a photo from his childhood and spoke. Please keep it a secret that the child named Song-hyun is me, Gong Bi-seo. Gong Bi-seo's hands trembled. Tears welled up in her eyes. You knew, didn't you, that I'm Song-hyun? Seo Dong-ju pressed again. Gong Bi-seo stared at him in silence for a long time before finally speaking. What are you talking about, Vice President Seo? I have no idea what you mean. Tell me everything you know about my past, please. There was desperation in Seo Dong-ju's voice. It's not that simple. And Gong Bi-seo hesitated, then looked him straight in the eye. Give up on Eun-nam. You two can never be together. Seo Dong-ju's expression hardened. Why? Are you saying we're siblings or some? No, but the truth you're uncovering will put you in danger, and Eun-nam will be dragged into that danger too. A resolute look crossed Seo Dong-ju's face. Danger? I've already nearly died once, and now the people who tried to kill me are the ones afraid of me. And you know everything, don't you, Gong Bi-seo? What the elders of this Daesan family did to me.
This conversation is absolutely dripping with tensions. Seo Dong-ju is slowly piecing together the truth about his identity. And judging by Gong Bi-seo's reaction, that past isn't just a simple family history. It's tied to dangerous secrets, especially her line, give up on Eun-nam, which hint that Seo Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam's relationship is about to get even more complicated.
Yeo Eun-nam began digging into the truth behind her father Yeo Sun-ho's death, alongside Seo Dong-ju. She showed him the evidence she'd gathered over time. This is the investigation report from Dad's accident. It was ruled as drunk driving, but the autopsy showed normal alcohol levels. And this is a photo of the crash site. There's no trace of brake marks. Seo Dong-ju examined the documents closely and asked, "How did you get this?" "It's one of the reasons I married Yeom Hee-chul, the prosecutor, to get access to internal prosecution files." Seo Dong-ju looked shocked. Yeo Eun-nam continued calmly, "Both that kid's mom and my dad were killed by CEO Ho Il-do. The day Dad died, I overheard a conversation between Gong Bi-so and Ho Il-do. Ho Il-do said the job was handled cleanly." So Dong-ju's expression grew serious. "That's possible, but we need solid evidence. And if what you're saying is true, we need to figure out why Ho Il-do killed your dad and my mom." Yeo Eun-nam's gaze turned cold. "I've waited long enough. No more. Not my marriage, not this entire fake life."
Wow, this scene is so intense. The fact that Yeo Eun-nam married Yeom Hee-chul from the start for revenge is total shock. And the suspicion that Ho Il-do is behind both Yeo Sun-ho's and Seo Dong-ju's mother's death, it feels like a massive conspiracy is unraveling. Why did Ho Il-do have to kill these two? And how is this connected to Seo Dong-ju's identity?
In the chairman's office at Daesan Group, Cha Kang-chen gathered Ji Sun-woo, Seo Dong-ju, and Ji Young-soo. It seemed Cha Kang-chen was ready to officially acknowledge Ji Sun-woo, his illegitimate child, and welcome him into the Daesan Group. "Sun-woo, Vice President Seo will help you, so start learning the company business little by little," Cha Kang-chen said. Ji Sun-woo looked puzzled. I want to be a baker." Ji Sun-woo replied hesitantly. Ji Young-soo patted his son's shoulder lightly. "Chairman, Sun-woo is still young. Please give him time to adjust." Cha Kang-chen nodded. "Sure, there's no rush. But since he'll eventually become the head of Daesan, it's good to gain experience early." Seo Dong-ju quietly observed the situation. His mind was swirling with thoughts. The chairman's order to turn Ji Sen-woo into Cha Sen-woo, and the mystery of my own identity. How does all of this connect?
This scene is really intriguing. Cha Kang-chen is determined to groom Ji Sun-woo as Daesan Group's successor, while Ji Sun-woo himself isn't ready to see the big picture. Meanwhile, Seo Dong-ju is stuck in a dual role, following the Cha Kang-chen's order while searching for the truth about his past. I'm so curious about what conflict this will lead to.
At Yeon Jang-son's house, Ho Il-do paid a visit. Yeom Jang-son welcomed him warmly with a smile. "Ah, my dear junior, I'm about to introduce you to someone who's like a gift." Ho Il-do looked puzzled. "A gift?" Yeom Jang-son smiled and replied, "Yes, you know Hong, the department head at Daesan Energy, right? That guy's actually one of us. He works under you, but he's loyal to me." Ho Il-do's expression stiffened. "What do you mean by that?" "Through Hong, we can monitor all of Seo Dong-ju's movements. And..." Yeom Jang-son paused, locking eyes with Ho Il-do. "If necessary, we could even get rid of Seo Dong-ju permanently." Ho Il-do fell silent, lost in thought. He had already tried to kill Seo Dong-ju twice and failed both times. What if a third attempt failed too? "Sir, eliminating Seo Dong-ju isn't as important as securing the 2 trillion won Nara Love Fund right now. We need to get the password to that account he's holding." Yeom Jang-son nodded slowly. "Yes, the money's important too. But Seo Dong-ju himself is becoming a threat. The more he uncovers about his past, the more dangerous it gets for all of us."
This conversation is genuinely chilling. It's another reminder of just how cunning Yeom Jang-son is. By introducing Hong from Daesan Energy as a gift, he's essentially ordering Ho Il-do to keep tabs on Seo Dong-ju and eliminate him if needed. And his line about the more Seo Dong-ju learn about his past, the more dangerous it gets is so loaded with meaning. Could it be hinting that Yeom Jang-son is also tied to Seo Dong-ju's past?
Meanwhile, Seo Dong-ju was having a serious conversation with Gong Bi-so. His face was filled with resolve. Seo Dong-ju's voice grew louder. They thought Song-hyun was dead, but now that he's back as Seo Dong-ju, they still want me gone. Gong Bi-so tried to calm him, but his anger didn't subside easily. "I'll uncover the whole truth. Why I couldn't live as Song-hyun and had to become Seo Dong-ju, and why my parents had to disappear." Tears welled up in Gong Bi-so's eyes. Sung-hyun, no. Mr. So Dong-ju, that truth will only hurt you more. Even if it hurts, I need to know. It's the reason I survived. On the other hand, Yeom Jong-sung was in his study, sipping wine and lost in thought. His expression was complex. Almost too good to kill, he muttered to himself. So Dong-ju, once you find out who you really are, you'll want to end your own life. At that moment, Cheng Gu-ho walked in. Sir, we spotted So Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam together. Yeom Jong-sun's eyes lit up. Really? What were they doing? They were investigating Yo Soon-ho's death, and they were pointing to CEO Ho Il-do as the culprit. Yeom Jong-sun paused to think before speaking slowly. Things just got complicated. So Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam are getting closer to the truth. We need to act fast.
This final scene really leaves you wondering how the drama will unfold. Seo Dong-ju's growing anger and determination as he searches for his past and the truths are palpable, and Yeom Jang-sun's comments about him being almost too good to kill, while still seeing him as a threat is so intriguing. Plus, the fact that Seo Dong-ju and Yeo Eun-nam are digging into Yo Soon-ho's death and naming Ho Il-do as the culprit foreshadows even bigger conflicts ahead. Will Seo Dong-ju uncover the truth about his real identity and his parents' death? And how will his relationship with Yeo Eun-nam evolve in the process? Wow, so many exciting developments are unfolding for the next episode. K-Guy's prediction for the next episode will continue as always, so please subscribe to catch all the preview videos ahead of time and drop by often. This has been K-Guy from Pop the World. Thank you.